Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm gonna tell you everything about guilds in Lost Ark, why they are important, why people join them, the things that you can do with your guild in this MMORPG. I know this is important for very many players that play MMORPGs. This sense of community, being part of a guild and having things to do with your guild, I know is important for very many of you. I wanted to extend a huge thanks to my guild leader because he helped me with very many specifics about guilds in Lost Ark. Me myself, I knew the basics, but everything above that, he was kind enough to sit with me a few minutes on Discord and explain things to me. So thank you to Mike Strike. You can also find him occasionally on Twitch. He's actually streaming also. So how guilds work in Lost Ark is that you create your own guild and then you recruit members, small number of members at the beginning, because the guild needs to go through levels, through stages before it can recruit more people. The more levels you go through with the guild, up until, I don't know what's the maximum level, but I know that the maximum number of players is 50. That's allowed in any guild no matter its level, and you get access to inviting 50 people when your guild is about level 11. Reaching level 11 is not that hard as long as you have an active community of players, which of course implies that you need to recruit active people. So mega casual guilds in Lost Ark are gonna take a lot longer to reach the place where they can invite 50 casuals, as opposed to very small guilds like, I don't know, 8-man guilds or 10-15-man guilds that are mega hyper active. They will get the ability to invite more people very fast. Because of this maximum number of people being 50 in guilds of Lost Ark, this kind of implies that casual players will join casual guilds and hyperactive players will join very active guilds, because at one point in your time in Lost Ark as a guild leader or as an officer or even as a player, you will find yourself maybe not necessarily being 100% wanted in all of the things that you can do with your guildies if you do not have a high item level, right? Having a high item level makes you be able to do more damage in, for example, GVE, guild versus environment. There is a mode part of the whole guild system which is GVE, and since I've mentioned it, let's talk a little bit about it. How it works is that you can apply for this GVE one time per week per character. You can do as many of these boss fights. You go with your guild inside the map, there is a boss and there is a leaderboard. Whichever 3 guilds are the fastest to kill that particular boss, then obviously they get the most rewards. Now, if you have more item level, you kill the boss faster, right? And because of that, people will strive to have item levels, and guilds that really are hyperactive and really want to compete and win these weekly things per character will want people with better item level in their guild. So if you fall behind a lot in terms of item level in Lost Ark, or if you've just started the game, right, and you want to join one of the best 3 guilds on your server, then there are chances that those 3 guilds will not really want to have you unless they have enough people, I don't know, 30 people, and they have for some reason 20 spots open for other people that are very low item level. This makes a little bit of a discrepancy in the community. However, it's not the biggest thing in the world, because most guilds have guild number 2 of the same, guild number 3, guild number 4, and then they swap around players. You know, if you progress enough through item levels, you can join from the newbie guild to the main guild, right? So that you can play with them and do kind of the same content. On top of this GVE content, there is also GVG, which there's 2 types of GVG content. One in which potions are allowed, which means that you need to spend a little bit of gold or real money in that case to get these potions in order to be successful in this kind of GVG content. All of the GVG content, well, not all of that, 90% of it is 8 versus 8 on the same map. The only difference is that one type of 8 versus 8, which you can join on Sundays, this one allows battle items, right? Everything else besides the battle items being allowed or not allowed is completely equalized in GVG in terms of gear. So gear does not really matter. So if you join a guild that is that doesn't care about the GVE side of things, right? They don't want to do that. They don't even care. They just care about the 2 GVGs, for example. Then you're completely safe to join it, even if you don't have any item level, as long as you're a class that they need, or as long as you're a really skilled player, a friend of a friend that's inside there. So it's really not such a big deal, as I said, the fact that there is this little discrepancy in terms of item level, and if you're not super active, then they might want more people with higher item level. On top of the GV something that you can do with your guild, the guilds do together also raiding. Another reason why I mentioned that item level is important to kind of keep up with your guild is you don't need to be the best guy in your guild, but being like 700 item levels under the majority, that's not really gonna work also in terms of raiding, because guilds get together, hey, let's do that raid together. Let's do, for example, right now in Russia, the Abyss raid, which, by the way, is another kind of guild-oriented content, even though it was not released for guilds specifically, and you don't have to be part of the same guild to play with 7 other people from the same guild, but it's an 8-man raid. It's no longer a 4-man raid. So that, according to Mike also, the leader of Weasels, that kind of gets guilds a little bit more together, and I completely agree with that, because if you do larger scale content with more people, like this Abyss raid, then obviously you can get 7 other people besides you from the guild and just get together with them. You have a much higher chance of success in that raid. You have people using the right consumables at the right time. You can go on Discord and you can have fun and chat and, you know, do the mechanics right and not fail 2 hours in a row and, you know, have people annoy you and just ruin your mood. Just go with your guildies. Another very important reason to join a guild and to at least try to stay competitive. And if you don't want to rush through item levels, like I've always recommended you guys not to, then you have to join a guild that's appropriate for your pace, for your style of progression. There is no problem if you don't reach maximum item level in 3 weeks after a patch is released and be in that guild that does. Eventually you're also gonna do the Abyss raid with your guildies that progress a little bit slower or at a more normal pace without the cash up, for example, through item levels. Guilds in Lost Ark are also very important because all of this GVG and GVE content that they can do, and you need to be part of the guild, right, in order to do the instance GVG, the 2 types of it, and also the instance GVE. They give you really cool rewards, right? On top of guild experience, which accumulates anyway, you get a specific currency that after visiting a merchant, you can buy all sorts of interesting rewards from it. Depending on the patch, there's going to be more and more rewards, obviously. Right now in Russia, for example, you can buy tier 3 upgrading materials, which are very important. You can buy tier 1 and tier 2 gearing upgrading materials like Acrasium, for example. This is an extra source, not like the best source, just an extra source of getting them. And on top of everything, you can buy seal books from them. Seal books which you can either use on your character and you have a chance to get some really nice seal books, or sell for gold. Very important to be noted that if on one account you have 4 different characters, let's say, that are all in 4 different guilds, you don't have to be in the same guild 4 tiers, but just 4 different guilds, you can go with each of those characters to this GVE and GVG content, right? You're not locked into going, there's not only one day in which you can do GVE. You can do GVE with the guild with your main guild on Saturday, and then you can do GVE on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday on 3 other characters of yours, and get this currency that I was talking about on your alts. Buy these nice goodies that I was mentioning, some of them that are tradable, like for example the seal books. You buy these boxes with seal books on alts because you farmed GVE content on 4 of your characters on the same account, and then you just transfer the seal books to your main, right? Or you sell them and you transfer the gold to your main. So it's a nice and interesting system, a very viable system, a system that makes you be part of a community in this game that has very little community outside of guilds. In Lost Ark, nobody really talks in parties, dungeons finish so quick you don't even have the chance to say hi. Raiding, again, the same thing. The only thing you're gonna see in the party chat is fuck you and these kinds of things, because people rage when they queue up with randoms. In towns, in the LFG chat, etc., nobody really talks. People wanna just sell things, or sell raiding, or sell map pieces, or this and that. Lost Ark as an MMORPG is not very encouraging to communities and building people together and all of this corazon things that you see in some other MMORPG, not all. But inside a guild, there is where the heart of Lost Ark is, and there is where you're gonna find people like you, people that play as much as you, people that think the same way as you do, and people that actually want to do content together. It is very important in Lost Ark to find a community, because the game is itself controversial, and if you're completely all alone from start to finish, you might just get a little bit depressed if you're just always alone. Joining a guild, seeing a little bit of more friendly chat, more personalized chat, people asking you how are you and stuff, like how you are, people caring a little bit, having a leader that's involved and talks to people and gets them in parties and does the abyssal raid together with you and helps your alt go through tier 1, 2, 3, 4. These are important things that matter if you wanna enjoy Lost Ark for a very long period of time. No way in hell to enjoy an MMORPG without making friends, and it's really hard in Lost Ark for some particular reason that I haven't really thought of and I cannot really explain in this video, but it's really hard in Lost Ark to actually make friends from LFG, like I have personally done in many other MMORPGs in the past. Here, not really the case. Everyone's just objective focused. Nobody cares about you, nobody cares how you look. Everyone just inspects you, looks at your seals and stats, and that's all they care about. So joining a guild is highly recommended by me, and I guess that's everything I wanted to talk about it. I wish you guys lots of love, and stay safe until my next video.